Right, so something a little bit different for a Thursday afternoon. I need to fit this CB radio in this tractor, and in the 6190R I just had it screwed to the bottom of there, which was a bit rough really and not very tidy. But in this new tractor it's got a blank in here, look. Now there was a little black box in there, but the other day I took all this down and moved the black box, cut the little rivets on that was holding the bracket, and moved it all up into there. So I'm gonna have to cable tie some of these cables in a minute. Cable tie them out of the way. So I've got this cage here that I got from Hunt's. So basically the cage is going to go in there, a bit like that, and then the CB radio goes in there like that, look. So just waiting for a lorry. I think I might have just heard it. Waiting for some seed oats to turn up. I'm going to unload that in a minute. So yeah, that's sort of what it's going to look like. I was going to have to go and see what this if it is the right lorry, what's just turned up. I'll catch you in a bit. So it wasn't the seed lorry, it was a grain lorry. And I'm loading him up with feed barley, which is winter barley. This is the last load of winter barley that's going. I think there's 2 more loads of oats to go, and then that'll be the oats cleared up. But we'll keep a load of this barley, obviously, to feed the cattle. It's been peeing it down with rain all day. Yesterday and today we've had about 18 mil of rain. You see the red numbers on the weigh scale on the side of the chassis? What was it, on 9,120 it was on. Now it's on 11 tonne. So I can't think that quick. If you work it out, you'll know how much was in the bucket. But yeah, so another 18 mil rain the last 2 days. I think we're up to like nearly 70 centimetres now for the winter. So yeah, in a minute I've been in the workshop this morning working on the 3350, so I'll show you that in a minute. I just thought I'd break it up a bit with a bit of work in the workshop, a bit of JCB work and that. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Right, so I've got the headlights put together in their little holders. They're John Deere headlights. So I've just turned the lights on in the cab, the switch on, and we'll see how they work. I've got my doubts, to be honest, because the wiring doesn't look overly great. Oh, it works. Spot on. Try this one. Result. Got a full house. See if I can get the plug on properly. Alright, spot on. Ooh, a piece of wood. That looks really good. I don't know what would look even better if it had a set of LED work lights, but I can't see that happening. So when I had the front of the tractor jacked up, I was quite surprised to see actually that there's no movement in this pivot, front axle pivot, where it articulates, because it's quite a common thing that there's a pin and bush in there and one back there, and they quite often wore out and there was a lot of movement in them, but this one seems pretty tight, to be honest. It's obviously been kept well greased over the years. Same with these the hub swivels as well. When I had the wheel on, I was pushing the wheel, no movement at all. Got a bit of a ripped, worn out gaiter there, maybe we should replace that. But there's no movement in it, we're wiggling the steering. It's all pretty tight, so that's good. The front axle's pretty solid. Same with this one's been changed before. Right, so it's Thursday evening now, about 7 o'clock. No, it's about 6:30. Yeah, and the seats turned up. He's about 5 hours late. Apparently the driver ran out of driving time, so they had to switch drivers. And so now we're unloading in the dark. £22.5 tons I've got to take off. I've got Oscar with me as well. He's fallen asleep. First time I've fallen asleep in the JCB. Because his mother's gone out for the evening, so I couldn't really leave him in the house on his own. He was quite excited when I first told him we were going out in the JCB, and then about 10 minutes and he was asleep. Look at that, look. We've all done it. Okay, so next job is to get this hydraulic pump out of here. So this hydraulic pump powers all the hydraulics on the tractor, from the link arms on the back to the power steering to the loader. So it's obviously quite important, does a lot of work. Things like the loader and that are starting to get juddery, so yeah, I'm going to reseal it. It's like a cam. I'll show you it when I get it apart, but it's like a camshaft in there with little pistons that pump the oil, and we've just got to change all the seals on the pistons. So yeah, I'm going to take this fuel tank out to get it out. So that's the first big piece taken out. You've got like the air cleaner, and there's an oil reservoir there which keeps this pump full with oil. So it's quite a good chance. It's quite good taking it all to pieces, because it gives us a good chance to clean everything up, because it's pretty crappy in there and all on the back of there. So the next thing I've got to do is, luckily there's not much fuel in this fuel tank. It's got two fuel tanks, one there, and then a pipe that runs all the way back to another fuel tank in here. Okay, so whilst the camera was turned off, I had a bit of an issue with this fuel tank and this pipe and the fuel that was in the tank. So in the process of trying to get the pipe off and put a bung in it, I ended up with a lot of diesel. I did have a tub, but I ended up with a lot of diesel on the floor, so the floor is currently covered in sawdust. I did have 2 bags of granules, but they didn't really do much. So sorry, battery died. So yeah, there was a lot more fuel in there than what I actually thought, to be honest. Yeah, and there's nothing in there now, because by the time I managed to get the bung in, it was all over the floor. And I was running around like a headless chicken trying to soak it up. So I'm going to lift this tank out now. Right, so the diesel tank's out. Got loads of room to play now. Makes it so much easier to work in there. So yeah, the pump is actually driven off the bottom pulley of the engine. There's a little drive shaft there that bolts on, a bit like a front PTO. Finally. Right. Oh, you bugger. I'll do this little pinch bolt, what's holding the drive shaft on. Take them right out, shall we? There we go. Pump is free, apart from that little pipe right there. Right, so pump's out. As you can see, ideally it really wants dragging outside and pressure washing out, but I don't think that's going to happen, so I'll just have to clean it up best I can in there and then put it all back together. So what I'm going to do next is, see this, there's a coolant drain bung there in the block and it's leaking, so I've got an O-ring for that big O-ring in there. And then also we've got a diesel leak. So you see these pipes running along here, look, their return, the injector, diesel injector is in the head there, and then the diesel what returns back to the fuel tank comes out and goes along these pipes and then along the flexi pipe back into the fuel tank. But we've actually got a couple of them leaking, so I've also got those little seals in there to fix that problem, so we'll do that. Right, so oh shit, that's screwed it. Well, that didn't go very well. We broke it. No wonder it was leaking. Right, see if we can knock it out with a chisel. Right, I think that's it, or most of it, at least. Still a bit in there. Oh no, there he is. He's coming out. Luckily I mean, in a way it's a good thing it's plastic because it's easy to get out, but also if it was plastic it probably wouldn't have broken in the first place, so if it wasn't plastic. That's it, look. You see the threaded bits that were stuck in there. That's it, it's all out now, all clean. I've ordered a new one, so we just want to get the new one, just screw it straight in there. Alright. Basically, I'll get you back out. Stick you on there. See that rubber there, look, that goes in that nut? I'm just replacing those. Push him out without stabbing myself in the finger. I had to check the date earlier to see if it was Friday the 13th. Amount of bad luck I've had today. Smashed a cup on the floor. Right, new ones. Spilt diesel all over the floor. Right, there we go. 2 new seals in there. This must be one of the ones that was leaking. Look, he's pretty deteriorated. See that? Loads of holes in it. Okay, so it's Friday afternoon, about 4:30, just gone 4:30, and yeah, so we started off the week with a sunny day, finished the week with a sunny day, had quite a bit of rain in between, 20 odd mil on Wednesday and Thursday, so made things pretty wet again. Right now I'm just sorting out just down at the wood pile, just sorting out some cordwood for the weekend. I was going to come down here with a chainsaw and bring up some wood ready for log splitting again, because I need to get my log shed full up ready for next winter. Yeah, I'm just separating the oak from the ash at the moment, because the oak needs another year of drying before I bring it up really. But yeah, so been a busy week. Next week we'll try and get the 3350 finished. We'll get that pump resealed and all back together. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.